I've been testing the Mobius 60, MOVA's current flagship robot vacuum, and judging by what it promises, this could be one of the most innovative and capable robots of 2026. Let's inspect. So slim, yes, that's MOVA, a brand backed by Luka Modric, which already tells you one thing, that this robot doesn't just want to clean efficiently, it wants to dominate the robot vacuums industry as well. But fun aside, this video is packed with real tests, real messes, and real results. So let's get into it. Let's begin with dry cleaning tests. Want to see some proof instead of marketing claims? Well, here's how the Mobius 60 handles corners. This robot can physically extend the side arm, reach into corners and capture everything that usually gets left behind. It can lift almost anything from the ground, and there is this oddly satisfying moment when you realize that it behaves less like traditional robot vacuum and more like a purpose-built cleaning machine. Gonna drop another scene here, just pay attention to how it handles debris that most robots would simply push around. Now, let's move to a proper stress test. I spilled 60 grams of rice on the floor, something I do since years with robot vacuums, and you can trace back in my reviews, and the result? Exceptional, 59.4 grams out of 60. What makes this even more impressive is that the test was done using the default suction mode, meaning that this robot still has room to do even better if you push it harder. So at this point, I can confidently say that dry cleaning performance here is best in class, backed by the latest trends in robot vacuum technologies, high suction, advanced airflow, anti-tangling brush design, and smart edge handling. And while I can't wait to show you the wet mopping results and throw some real challenges at it, there's one thing we need to do first: build experience. So before pushing it further, let's unbox it properly. Here's a fact: this is by far the heaviest robot vacuum package I've ever dealt with, worth mentioning. You already know my reviewing philosophy. I don't just list the features, I show you how everything translates in real-life usage. First things out of the box are the detergents, 2 different floor types covered, then multiple sets of the brushes, and this here is important. You don't just get a default pair of pads, you get 3 complete sets plus spares. That's generous and quite important, gonna show you in a moment. For context, with my older Roborock S7, running a full cleaning cycle once a week meant buying new mop pads roughly every 18 months. Here, the pads are washed with warm water and then actively dried, which should extend their lifespan. Next, the robot itself. Build quality is excellent, matte black finish, which means fingerprints are kept under control, removable top cover, a nicely designed dustbin, and fairly large volume. You've already seen the brushes, but let me fast forward to now, 3 weeks later, and that's how they are expected to look like. The body is impressively slim, but there's an important detail. During operation, the LiDAR module expands upward and it can retract again when necessary. Now, let's talk about the station. This thing is spectacular and large, and yes, heavy. Slightly bigger than what we are used to, but very smartly designed. The very first thing that crossed my mind, this looks like a black mini fridge. But jokes aside, this station is where part of the real magic happens. In here we have the mechanism, this part, which does all these automatic swapping of the mop pads, completely hands-free. And if you think this is the smartest part of the Mobius 60, wait until we talk specs. Here's where we slow down and absorb the numbers, because we talk about really high suction power, currently the best in class. There's a large battery capacity, long working times, fast recharging option, full station automation, very advanced navigation and object detection system, and of course quite an advanced smartphone app. This is one of those rare cases where the spec sheet, about dry cleaning at least, actually matches the real-world testing, and that's something I don't say very often, which is music to my ears. The most powerful suction, no corners cut, literally, and even the software runs incredibly well at launch. There's a very logical explanation for that, which I'm going to get to in a moment. But first, my favorite detail. Just think about it. A flagship robot vacuum released without a Pro, Ultra, Max or Mega label. Kudos MOVA, seriously. So yes, if you're looking for something that can genuinely be labeled as the best based on specs and dry cleaning performance alone, I would say this comes really close, maybe it is. But how about the navigation? How about the obstacle avoidance, the wet mopping? And does the mop swapping system actually make a big difference? Let's find out. Wet mopping is where things get even more interesting. There are several different philosophies when it comes to wet mopping in robot vacuums, and this is arguably one of the easiest systems to maintain, yet quite efficient too. Speaking of which, it depends on a balance: the algorithm, the mechanical design of the arms, and the pressure applied to the floor through the pads. Most other Mobius 60 reviews will praise the wet mopping, and yes, I will too, but let's stay realistic. This is not steam-based cleaning. It's designed as a supportive cleaning solution, not a replacement for dedicated washing robots. That said, compared to most robot vacuums on the market right now, this is absolutely among the best, possibly even the best. I will admit, I remain slightly skeptical about the idea of using 3 different mop types. No matter how creative the marketing is, there's no technical magic hidden in here. However, there is a very real benefit. If you have a greasy area in your kitchen, none of that oily residue gets transferred to your parquet or other types of floors. That's a first, and it actually matters. I was also pleasantly surprised by the level of detail in the map, including correct detection of how the wooden parquet is installed. That said, the algorithm still struggles with hexagon-shaped tiles. This feels like something that could be fixed with a future firmware update. For now, if you notice discrepancies, you can manually define such areas and instruct the robot which mop to use in that section. Obstacle avoidance is also excellent. 0 remarks from my side, near 0 collisions with furniture, no risk of falling down on stairs, very confident handling of cables, socks and other objects left behind. What's particularly impressive is the dynamic update of objects even after cleaning has already started, a clear sign that the algorithms are shifting from static logic to dynamic interpretation. Now, let me tell you about something that made me a little nervous: the area under the bed. Without the LiDAR module extended, the Mobius 60 is slimmer than most robots. With it, I knew it wouldn't fit. I started the cleaning cycle watching nervously as it cleaned everything except under the bed, and then the LiDAR module retracted. Problem solved. Perfect coverage. And one more thing, you have to see this: the robot is jumpy. Up to 5 cm obstacles and up to 8 cm if they're sequential. Most thick carpets don't exceed 3 or 4 cm, so that's more than enough. Software is another strong point. The app layout is clean, with a clean main section for saved maps. Multi-floor detection works automatically, and after testing it myself, I can say it is very reliable. Everything is tunable: section power, water usage, mop refresh frequency, mop switching logic, carpet behavior, advanced controls for different floor types, and so on and so forth. My advice? Spend a few minutes exploring the settings up front without changing the defaults. Just understand what's there. It makes future optimizations much easier. Personally, I only reduced the mop wetness and shortened the pad drying times. They simply don't need to dry that long, saves energy as well. Speaking of which, charging draws around 45 watts, dustbin emptying is a bit more intensive, and water heating procedures also consume noticeable power, which is expected at this level. Oh, and I managed to add it to Home Assistant with almost all available features by using the Dreamy Hacks module. Lately, I tried to parse most of my smart home gear through HA, and this took only a few minutes. And of course, you can get creative about these dashboards. Now, time to mention the drawbacks. There's no option yet to connect the station directly to your home's water system. The main station feels bulky and heavy, and there's a growing trend I don't fully love at the moment: heavy dependency on the base station. Without it, many of the advanced features are limited. There's no alternative way to charge the robot or whatsoever. That said, I've used my previous station-based robot for almost 4 years without any issues. So realistically, this is more of a long-term thought about the industry as opposed to a real concern for this particular model. So my final conclusion about the Mobius 60 feels like the spotlight is now on MOVA. Yes, it is expensive, not as much. It's a high-end robot vacuum, includes features that would otherwise cost you a lot more money when combined across different models and brands. Being part of the Dreamy ecosystem, I do think this is the year MOVA starts shining brighter. And it's kind of funny, just when you think the market is settled, someone brings in something new, something fresh, really unique. So I don't know, what is next? Stair climbing? Oh, wait, that already exists. Flying? Maybe soon. Thanks for watching this review. I'm the TechMishka. Double check if you're subscribed to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.